What's going on, guys? This is the True Red Politician, and today's video is a massive update. And again, it's spelling doom, more doom and gloom, but for the right reasons, is towards the establishment, the neocons, the RINOs. They are slowly assimilating, similar to Lindsey Graham in South Carolina, which I don't trust him, but he's kind of getting his act together. He's kind of assimilating, and or the RINOs besides him are like assimilating, or they're either losing their primaries or going to lose, which is Texas with John Cornyn, or they're just retiring. They're retiring. They realize that this is the same Bush uniparty that it was 10, 15, 20 years ago, and they're just waking up to the realities, and they're just retiring, or just they're going to lose their primaries again. Bill Cassidy voted to impeach Trump. He lost decisively. He got dragged through the mud. I mean, he got crushed. He got third place. He got destroyed by Letlow and Fleming. It wasn't even close. And I think next here in a week, I think that's going to be the same thing with John Cornyn. Because John Cornyn, he got primary. He's going to get a primary endorsement by Ken Paxton. And again, it happened. And I think it's over for him. I think he's going to lose. Paxton's a fighter. He fought off the Biden administration, even like fighting for like MAGA Trump policies as the Attorney General in Texas. I mean, it was insane how much he was able to fight back against the Biden administration. Like, yes, he has some scandals. That's true, but he's kind of like a mini Donald Trump in Texas. Like, everybody kind of knows about it. They really don't care or they don't believe it, which I think is kind of a mixture of both. And what's out there is out there. And I think even then he was running super competitive in the primary. He barely, quote unquote, lost, but he really didn't lose it was only by 30,000 points. I mean, votes by 1 percentage point. I mean, it wasn't really even like he got demolished. And again, just looking at the map here, the dark red's retirements, and even though Alabama and even Montana, they weren't really, or even Wyoming, they really weren't RINOs that retired. They decided just to step down. But again, Louisiana and Texas, you're going to have two massive RINOs gone. And again, just goes to show that the Overton window in the GOP is changing for the better. We're getting sick and tired of these weak, freckless RINO Republicans who are just weak and who just can't fight. And we're getting sick and tired of it. And again, just to remind how much of a RINO Cornyn is, he, again, flirted with the idea to impeach Donald Trump back in after 2021, after J6. He kind of flirted with the idea. He didn't do it, but he definitely flirted with the idea of doing so. He voted back in 2022 red flag laws in Texas. He was again pro amnesty to a certain extent. There was a YouTube video that Scott Pressler and other people kept on exposing on his Twitter, on X, of him in Spanish. The ad was in Spanish of him supporting amnesty. The guy said that Donald Trump should step down from the 2024 presidential nomination. He said MAGA's over. Well, we need to move back past MAGA. Back in 2022 and 2023, he praised some of Biden's appointees like Eric Gardner, who again brought up these BS charges. Did an FBI raid on his house in Mar-a-Lago back in 2022. And for the nomination, John Cornyn was praising the guy, the FBI director. I mean, the guy is a clown. And again, he voiced a discontent about the border wall on Texas, of all states, back in 2016, saying it was a waste of taxpayer money. It wouldn't be effective. Like, this guy's a clown. He's just not strong on any of the big issues. And again, he's like a RINO who could behave under Donald Trump and the Republican leadership, but under like a Democrat president, the guy just turns into a principled RINO who, again, is just in bed with the uniparty. The guy's a clown. And again, you have Paxton, who is a genuine fighter, who's solid on the issues and knows how to win. We need more Republicans, not RINOs, who are mentally strong, who aren't weak, who back down to not even like the moderate left, but like the far left in particular. And you need to punch back, metaphorically speaking, of course, and put these RINOs in their place and put the far left in their place. And Paxton's one of those people. You need stronger people in the Senate. And again, John Thune, other like Republicans, these RINO Republicans are furious. They're mad. They're upset because it's just another Big influential rhino, by the way. It's not like John Cornyn was like kind of a Tom Tillis, like a run of the mill rhino who didn't really have much to say in the GOP. John Cornyn, he's like the second or third most influential Republican or rhino in the Senate. He has a lot of power, he has a lot of influence, and again, he could be gone. And if you really think about it, Mitch McConnell, he's gone. And you could say, well, Andy Barr might be kind of a McConnell clone, this and the other, but he doesn't have the same influence as Mitch McConnell. So Mitch McConnell and possibly John Cornyn, they're gone. And it's really John Thune and a couple other like somewhat influential rhino Republicans. But the big rhinos, they're dropping like flies, man. Like Bill Cassidy, he's gone. I mean, the Republican Party is changing for the better. I'm going to share this clip of John Thune being decently pretty upset that Cornyn is getting the primary out of Texas to Paxton, and his reaction to Trump's endorsement.
I'm trying to encourage, persuade the president to endorse John Cornyn in the Texas primary, given that the NRSC has invested heavily to help Cornyn win that primary. How personally disappointed or frustrated are you with the president's decision to endorse Ken Paxton today?
Well, I think you all know my position on this issue. I've made it very clear for months now. And Senator Cornyn is a principled conservative. He is a very effective senator for the state of Texas. But I don't, none of us control what the president does. He made his decision about that.
I mean, just pathetic. I mean, he's molding, but it's like, principled conservative who fights for Texas and he's effective. It's like, what the hell has this guy done that's effective in Texas besides make everything worse? Like, this guy's a goofball. And again, like, he's not in support of basic immigration, common sense immigration reforms or policy that could stop immigration. When again, you're on the biggest southern state with the largest border, like again, border state out of the four: New Mexico, Arizona, and California. Out of the four, that is connected to Mexico, Central America, and South America. Basically, the entire Western world is basically connected through you. And again, it's like, it's just so stupid. You have just so many illegal immigrants coming in, and you say, oh, Trump's border wall is dumb. And again, he's like a rhino who's willing to behave under a Trump presidency or Republican presidency, but under a Democrat president, he just turns into just a limp noodle. He's a loser. He's an old guard dinosaur that needs to go. And again, just being on the common sense border wall on your state, and you're like against it, at least at first back in 2016, is just so stupid. And especially when you're connected to Mexico, Central America, and South America, and he's have the biggest border with those states. It's just ridiculous, and he being against it is honestly just ridiculous. It's just so dumb. So again, I think Cornyn's going to go down. Again, I know these polls are like kind of old, and we don't. But there's polls that showing even before the Trump endorsement, Paxton at 48%, and like Cornyn at like 43 to 44. Now the polls did underestimate Cornyn before round one, that's for sure. But it's not like Paxton was at like 35 and Cornyn was at 45. Paxton was at 44. I believe Cornyn was at like 45. So, and again, most of the Wesley Hunt voters are probably going to go to Paxton. So, and now with the Trump endorsement and Paxton spending money and actually taking this seriously, unlike round one, yeah, I think you're done. And again, that's just another rhino gone out of the Senate that had a lot of influence. So this is a good thing. The Overton window is changing in the GOP, and this is a massive, massive win. So, anyways, guys, this is the True Red Politician. Please like, comment, and subscribe. There'll be more videos to come, especially as it's May 19th. We'll go over Georgia and Kentucky's 4th with Thomas Massie. Those will be very interesting. So, again, please like, comment, and subscribe. And see you guys next time. This is the True Red Politician signing out. Later.